So Royce, here at the Focal Point tonight, we're excited to have you here. Just give us a little story, a backstory about how you started playing piano and what got you interested in that instrument.
All my siblings play music, or if they aren't instrumentalists, they are interested in music some type of way. They do it. They spend nights thinking about music before they go to sleep. And that touched me because for the longest time, I wasn't playing music at all until I turned 14. It's like I felt like I didn't have one of the superpowers that one of them had, and I felt like sort of left out. But yeah, it all changed one day when I was 14, and I found this keyboard in my sister's room and started playing it, long story short. But I got into YouTube piano tutorials and things like that. So I would play things that I found interesting on YouTube, like songs that I like, or songs that I like, which ended up really turning into a lot of classical music. Like I got trapped in the classical music algorithm on YouTube, and what came with that was this immense interest in Beethoven, and I started transcribing, insofar as I could transcribe what I heard from Beethoven and playing that on the keyboard. And it was very simple at first, like dun 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 with one finger. And yeah, that I'm still learning from YouTube actually. That's how I practice, with YouTube. So
Okay.
shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so then when you were picking these music pieces up as a non-musician, I'm asking, so were you playing parts of the songs or parts of the music, or
Yeah, just
or
part.
or try to play a whole piece? How did that work?
The latter, but only a little bit after I had some training on my own or some
Okay.
experience playing the piano on my own. What I mean is, I will be trying to play, 2 minutes of a 5-minute John Legend song because I could only get those 2 minutes. The chords in the beginning were easier than the melody at the end, and I just didn't have the technical facility to play it.
Yeah.
And same was true with like a Beethoven sonata by the time I got into that stuff. But I would push myself to try to learn and finish like a whole Beethoven sonata. Now that I think about it, it's kind
Yeah,
of weird.
that's wild. And you're 14.
Yeah.
And what kind of keyboard?
It was shout out to Yamaha. The
Yamaha?
Yamaha, yeah,
Yeah.
76 keyboard, 76 key keyboard, non-weighted keys. It was almost like a toy, but like one of those little starter boards for kids.
And it had speakers in the.
Yeah. It had a speaker
And she just had it sitting in a room, and you
on
decided.
the desk, and I decided it was time.
Okay, so you start playing the piano on the keyboard. You start playing the keyboard. What comes next on your way to the that music competition that you won?
I was really interested in writing my own stuff. I wanted to make what did I want to do? I wanted to make piano scores that felt like what I experienced, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I've always been interested in stories, and I don't know. I see life like a classic romantic, and really, man, even as a kid, like I wanted to just play how I felt, and so I would make these short compositions based on the notes that I learned. I mean, that literally, like I only knew so many of them. I would make these little short compositions based on that, and name them after my home neighborhood or something like that.
Wow.
And I got deeper and deeper into that, and I made this piece that was inspired by a lot of classical music, in hopes of I made it in anticipation of the competition at the Fox, which was just approaching.
And how did you even sign up for that and say, "Hey, I started playing piano last year. I'm going to enter this"?
Well, actually, this is my first time saying this. Actually, I auditioned in 2015, but I actually didn't get in. So I started piano in 2014. Auditioned for Fox Teen Talent in 2015.
Okay, so you knew about the.
Yeah, my sister knew about it because she's a singer, and I don't think she ever tried to do it, but yeah, it was on my radar.
Okay.
And I
And obviously determined
yeah
young
yeah, yeah.
man.
Yeah, so the next year I was like, let me try again and see if I can play this piece. I had written the piece the year before when I didn't get into it. I guess that one wasn't good enough. I wasn't playing well enough then, but yeah.
You had that whole extra year of practice.
True, yeah, true.
Well, that's awesome. So, and then what happened from that? So you win this junior
Yeah.
music competition.
Yeah, so I
That's
was
what it
a
is.
bright-eyed sophomore in high school, 16 years old, very dramatic. Just imagine all the stuff I'm saying about seeing life through a romantic lens, and then multiply that by adolescence. It was like it was like a lot
I love
of
it.
I was just so dramatic, really. And this piece matched that, man. I'm telling you, it just matched everything that life felt like at that point.
Okay.
And very alluring too. Like, what does it mean to just? I mean, it's for real. Like, what does it mean to stand in front of 4,500 people, playing an instrument that you barely know how to describe? And it's the same with the music, and win a competition like that. And it was literally on stage at the Fox that I was like, snap, maybe I could do this as a career. Like, maybe if I took this more seriously, I might be able to bring this into the future. And so at that point, I decided that I might want to go to school for it. But it was a long way before I was a long way before figuring out which school to go to and then how to pay for it. But ended up going to Berklee, and that all worked out. So shout out to the support network that I have here in St. Louis.
Well, people saw the talent and the drive, and so you were able to apply to Berklee and got accepted there. And then how long were you at Berklee? How does that work?
Yeah, so I went to Berklee and I did my program was film score.
It's post high school.
Post high
So you
school.
graduate from high school, then you go to Berklee. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I auditioned in 2017 and 2018 I went. I went in 2018 and I was trying to figure out just exactly what I wanted to do. It's always still sort of a conflict between composition and performance. I'm always like, if I'm performing a lot, I feel like I'm sacrificing time that I would otherwise spend composing and vice versa. And I love both almost equally. But I'm terrified of performing. So that's one thing that works in the favor of composition. But either way, I was like, I feel like I'm spread too thin if I try to do both. So I should focus on one. And I really I was telling you before, I like to tell stories, especially through music. And I think film score might be the best medium for that.
Film scoring, and that's what film scoring is. Kind of one of your majors, if you will, at Berklee. Is that how?
Yeah, that was
worked?
my major. Yeah.
So, and then when you get to Berklee, you're there with obviously
Big
everybody's
shark,
good.
big fish. Yes.
Yeah.
They're really
And people have
good.
been playing since they're 3 years old.
Yeah, true.
And
True. Yeah, a lot of.
how did it feel to move into that world? Did you stride in? Did you?
It was scary. It was discouraging. It was overwhelming. It was a lot. I remember saying even the people even walk faster on the East Coast. Everything about it was just shocking, really shocking. I didn't know what I needed to prepare for Berklee, really. All of my music career, even right now, I feel like I'm just catching up. And, I got Shapeshifter in my bio on Instagram because I feel like
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's what that is?
yeah, like I
Okay.
sort of feel like any room that I'm in, I'm sort of having to play chameleon and catch up in ways that perhaps other people won't have to. But I think it's fun, really. Before Shapeshifter, it was Fear Facer.
Fear Facer. Nice.
Yeah. So
that
it's
sounds
all
like a superhero.
it's all a part of the Royce character arc. But when I got there, it really was like scary as hell. A lot of people leave freshman year for that reason. On the East Coast, it's dark early.
Yeah.
Away from my family, 1,100 miles. It was just,
Right.
it's kind of tragic actually, but I made it through.
And now, obviously, your work at the Scott Joplin House is how I came to know you. We just happened to stop by the Joplin House, and this guy comes walking into the room, and you were there filming something, I believe.
Yeah, I was working.
And it was like you were off a picture on the walls.
Yeah,
You had the suit on and everything,
Straight
and
from
then you started
1916.
playing the piano. Is that the suit? Oh, you were.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing you were
I was
taping?
walking in from the past. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
exactly what's happening. I was upstairs trying to shoot something in association with the album
Yeah.
with Nick.
So Scott Joplin House, you started working there when, or being a part of that?
After I
That was
graduated,
after Berklee.
after graduating high school,
Okay.
2018. Yeah, so
As a summer.
yeah, it was February 4th, 2018 that I came to what they call the Ragtime Rendezvous. I think it's every first Sunday of the month. They still have it actually. I played there and I played this piece. It was like a compilation of Joplin tunes that I was interested in playing at that time. And one of the guys, Brian, he invited me into he was interested in what I was doing at the instrument. He invited me into the Joplin House and showed me everything. And I was like, dang, maybe I'll do this. Like, maybe this is a cool job to have.
Was it something about Joplin that clicked in?
Not
You're
yet.
already
Not yet. Maybe low
broad
key.
range.
If it was very low key. Like, I just didn't know. It was something that was speaking to me about that story specifically that I, at that point, definitely couldn't have explained. But right now, I can barely explain, and I'll attempt to do it tonight. But yeah, I had seen with my sisters the Scott Joplin movie, and they mentioned St. Louis in it, and I think that sparked something in me. And I've always been interested in history. I had the whole Beethoven thing going at the time anyway. So
Yeah.
I got deeper and deeper into this Scott Joplin lore, and I figured out all this stuff about St. Louis and his contemporaries here in St. Louis who were basically American musical architects. And once I figured that out, I was like, snap, I have a responsibility to play the music. And, I'm interested in this music even prior to knowing that these great musicians walk the same streets as me. So there's something destined about me playing stride. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And so that's stride is the art, is the
Yeah.
style of piano playing?
Yeah, or ragtime, oompa,
Okay.
that style. But yeah, I just felt compelled to play the music for that reason. And the deeper I get into it, actually, the more I see that what was happening then was, I don't know what to say about that. But the more I get into it nowadays, the more I realize that all of this is just exactly what I need to do.
Okay, so probably to wrap this up, we can ask specifically about St. Louis and how you, as a historian and a musician, how do you see St. Louis as a nexus or a center or
Yeah.
a place?
We could definitely do better at championing our history. That's, I think, just for sure true. St. Louis was an epicenter for ragtime. Ragtime is the inception of American popular music. It's the first national music craze that's uniquely American. That's a big deal. Yeah, that's a big deal. And for the King of Ragtime to spend some of his best years here, and same for his contemporaries, I think mean a lot. I mean this for real. Like it means a lot to the American musical landscape, which is just the world musical landscape. America, I think, is the biggest market for entertainment. And so, for that to have been started by these people born in the first generation after emancipation, and for somebody like Scott Joplin to have all these ideas about ragtime being this music that's associated with slavery, to be integrated into America's biggest scenes like Tenpin Alley and Broadway, and creating the soundtrack for advancement of the black race, right here in St. Louis, I think it's very dreamy. It's very dreamy. That's what Odyssey of a Dreamer is about. And so I felt, sort of a responsibility to tell the story. The best advice I have probably for kids or pretty much anybody else, and maybe I'll make that the theme of the show tonight, just be yourself for real. Like, there are so many temptations that can pull you in any way, honestly. You got so much, especially as a kid. I was just saying this about adolescence, but you got a lot of unmanifested potential. In fact, that's all you are as a kid. So that's why people smile at you, because you're just a ball of potential waiting to manifest. And there's something cool about that. It's like something very like destiny about that. But, if influenced what we might describe as the wrong way, things can end terribly. And I see that happen a lot. And it's pretty sad, especially here in St. Louis. I've been moved by, I've been pretty saddened about social and political landscapes of what's been happening here in St. Louis. Cultural things too. But all this is to say that if you find the right things at the right time, that can really help you catalyze this sense of self, really be yourself, despite having good reason not to. You have good reason a lot of times not to be yourself. It's hard as hell to be yourself, really. Like, what do I mean by that? It's like, the burden of existence is enough itself to just like push and pull you into the right ways. Like, you should listen to people, like people keep you from doing crazy things, but you just don't know, we don't know to what extent listening to people is the right thing to do or a detrimental thing to do. But if you can find the right thing to channel the right part of you at the right time, do it. Pianos for People was that for me. The piano was that for me. But just strive to be the best version of yourself. Like, be you in any room you can walk into. Like, obviously get rid of what's unnecessary, but strive for your highest self. Joplin says to Royce in Dreamland, we confront you with the unknown to bring you to your higher self. That's the point. Constantly like moving out into the dark, like very vulnerably but confidently trying to figure out just who you are, and then you grasp it and figure out, oh, this is me, I'm walking into it, that's what I want to do. So find who you are.
Well, we're glad to be a part of your journey here at the Focal Point for sure. These people, everybody who runs this and is a part of this organization is absolutely thrilled to have you here. And St. Louis is very proud to have you be a St. Louisan.
The thrill is mine. Yes, sir.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And look forward to the show tonight.
Yeah. Wish me luck, everybody.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're here to see. We're so proud and happy to have this young man here. It's an amazing thing. Michael, thank you so much for putting this together in such short order. And for all you folks for coming out to see this incredible talent. Very proud to have him here in St. Louis. And St. Louis's own Royce Martin.
Thank you. Thank you.